Hi again, folks. How are you doing? Today is the 21st day, I believe, the 20th. The 20th day of August 2022. I'm Scott. That down there is Bo. There is no co-pilot in the co-pilot seat today. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday. Nice Saturday down here in Tampa, Florida. I found out today that Tampa, Florida in 2022 has the seventh highest rent increase, or the sixth highest rent increase from 2021 to 2022 in the entire country. The city of Tampa does overall. A bunch of cities in Florida are like that. I guess because people are rushing down to Florida after the whole Rona lockdown thing. But a lot of cities in that situation right now. To start off with, let's take a look at this. I told you I've been working on pulling up some old stuff on my writing on the FBI. I would refer you to my Substack. You don't have to be a member to read this stuff or to get emails, and there's no charge for it. I put 8 articles up here that I've done, and that's just a few. I'll give you an idea of what we're looking at. If you go to here's my archive writing. And this is stuff, just a little bit of stuff that was archived for me over the years by my mother, of all people. And these are all from 2013. Well, there's another source that I had to go through, and I'm going through now, and that was this one. It's where somebody on a website has taken my stuff, the RSS feed, or however that works, and put it on theirs. All of this stuff, as you can see the dates here, started 2018. And this is like one page here. And these are all either articles that I wrote or videos that I made, or they are clips, like the first 2 paragraphs of something that I wanted people to see and that I posted up on my website so they could then read those 2 paragraphs and then go on to the other site to read it, the original site to read it. This here is one page. That's all one page. And this is stuff that came straight from my website for only 2018 through 2016. There are 70 pages. And I stopped. There was more. There you go. Page 1 of 70 on the bottom right hand side. 70 pages of stuff that I worked on. That was all erased. That's not even all of it. Stuff that was erased by WordPress. So when I say I'm going through a lot of stuff for this FBI video I want to do, I mean it. I'm going through a lot of stuff. This is 2014, by the way. So just bear with me, but until then, if you would like, there is some good information. There's some really good information here in just these 8 articles. And you do not have to sign up for it. There is no charge. This is not some gimmick to get you guys here. But there is some really good stuff here. And even the stuff I did before, back 2nd of August, that was the Nakula. He's the guy who made the Innocence of the Muslims video for the FBI. And had it for a couple of years before they used it as the excuse for what happened in Benghazi. But he made it as a FBI honeypot back in the day. Interesting stuff on the FBI. Please be my guest and go take a look. Let's move quickly as we can, because your time is valuable. I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to read this for you. This is from National Archive 2 from the George Washington University.edu. Chile and the United States declassified documents relating to the military coup of September 11th, 1973. Coincidence? It's by Peter Kornblum, and it is from the National Security Archive Electronic Briefing, book number 8. Washington, D.C. Quote, September 11, 1998 marks the 25th anniversary of the military coup led by General Augusto Pinochet. The violent overthrow of the democratically elected Popular Unity government of Salvador Allende changed the course of the country that Chilean poet Pablo Neruda described as a long petal of sea, wine, and snow. Because of CIA covert intervention in Chile and the repressive character of General Pinochet's rule, the coup became the most notorious military takeover in the annals of Latin American history. Revelations that President Richard Nixon had ordered the CIA to make the economy scream in Chile to prevent Allende from coming to power or to unseat him prompted a major scandal in the mid-70s and a major investigation by the United States Senate. Since the coup, however, few U.S. documents relating to Chile have been actually declassified until recently. Through Freedom of Information Act requests and other avenues of declassification, the National Security Archive has been able to compile a collection of declassified records that shed light on events in Chile between 1970 and 1976. End quote. Again, I will post links to all of these down below. Why do I bring up September 11th, 1973? Why do I bring up what Kissinger and the CIA and Richard Nixon did in Chile to prevent Allende from coming to power or to unseat him? I do that because one of the tactics that they use when they regime change a country in hopes to remake it politically, socially, and more importantly, economically, is to make the economy scream. And back in the day, in the 70s, when the people of this country still had some fucking balls, and there were a few politicians who weren't completely corrupt, when it came out that that's what happened, that that's what we did to another country, there was a full-on Senate investigation. And it was a news story. As is fucking laid out here for you. Why do I bring that up? Because that's exactly what they're doing today. The only difference is they're not doing it to somebody else's country. They're not doing it to somebody else's nation. They've been infiltrated by the big business interests at the World Economic Forum and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the Business Roundtable and the Bank for International Settlements. They've been infiltrated and paid off and bought off by these people to do it to their own countries. London's mayor warns millions of Brits won't be able to afford heating and eating this winter. Why? Because back in December of 2021, we started arming the Ukrainians and pressing them to use those weapons to bomb the shit out of the people of the Donbass region, the breakaway republics, and to use their fucking Azov battalions and other nationalist little fucking militant groups that have been infiltrating and then trained in the military in Ukraine to carry out these actions because they hate ethnic Russians. They hate ethnic Russians, obviously, because the ethnic Russians stopped them from getting their fascist world fucking order. The Reich of 1,000 years. So of course they hate them. That's exactly what we did, knowing full well that Russia would have to come and intervene. And then we could use that as the excuse to cripple our own economies to make way for the Great Reset. Of course, there's a myriad of different little schemes that they ran. Yeah, they gave billions of dollars to Ukraine, supposedly. One report said less than 10% actually made it there. But they are in the process, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of making our economy scream. They never have any original thoughts. They never have any original plans. Using COVID-19 to bring about the Great Reset was about as original as they got. But when it all comes down to it, and as we can see here, COVID cases are not doing as well as they had hoped this year. They have to move from one crisis to the next. They have no choice. Because if people have time to start looking at what's happened and what's happening, they end up starting to do things like, oh, I don't know, Senate investigations into making the economy scream in Chile. London's mayor has warned that millions of Brits won't be able to afford heating and eating this winter. Poor, middle-class, working Brits. Not him. He's rich. The UK faced a major, quote, the UK faced a major inflation in terms of food prices, electricity costs for households and businesses, as well as surging rent prices. Let me stop for a second. Does any of that fucking sound familiar? U.S. cities with the highest fucking rents increases the past years. Tampa, Florida is one of them. Miami, Florida is another. And Orlando, Florida is another. But all of these fucking cities in the country, rent is being jacked up. The current rate of inflation, take a look at that graph. Take a look at that graph. The highest was 2019. Then 2020, it dropped down to 1.4. And then 2021 and 2022 up to 7 and then 8.5. And they're celebrating 8.5 right now as a low. Look at that fucking graph. That's what fucking inflation is doing. Then go back. Oh, look. The UK faced a major inflation in terms of food prices, electricity costs for household and businesses, as well as surging rent prices. Does that sound familiar? The surge in food and electricity price was caused in no small part by the Western countries' decision to impose sanctions and bans against Russian energy resources. London's Mayor Sadiq Khan has issued a grim warning that millions of Brits won't be able to both properly heat their apartments and buy enough food in the upcoming winter amid rapidly surging prices that are likely to see increases to energy bill caps. We've seen nothing like this before, said the mayor in a tweet. We're facing a winter where, for millions, it won't be about choosing between heating or eating, but tragically, being able to afford neither. This can't happen, so government needs to step in. What does he mean by government needs to step in? Great Reset. Again, look at this graph. In April of 2021, household bills in the UK were about at 1,000 fucking euros. That's April of 2021. April of 22, it was 2,000. April estimated 2023 is going to be 6,000. 3 times increase. Threefold increase, threefold. And there's no reason for that. There's none whatsoever. Sanctions can be lifted tomorrow. Sanctions can be lifted tomorrow. I showed you the current inflation rate. That's where we are now. This is from U.S. inflation calculator, and this is where we are right now in the U.S. Over at Zero Hedge, here's another fucking shoe that's going to drop. Half a company is planning on laying off or hiring freezes, according to a survey published today on Zero Hedge. Yes, I know what Zero Hedge is. I'm one of the first people who explained over a decade ago what they are. But that doesn't mean they don't have accurate information. A concerning survey of 700 U.S. executives revealed that half of them are either actively reducing headcount or plan to, while 52% have implemented hiring freezes, according to Bloomberg. They're going to start laying people off. Unemployment's going to go up. Our fucking electric bill, our heating bill, our food costs, energy costs are going to go up. It'll be the next great crisis. And what will they be planning on doing while the next great crisis takes place? Well, they're going to slam the fucking hammer down on us for one thing. Reuters here says that these new IRS employees, 80,000 of them, are an army or harmless programmers. Somewhere in between, boys and girls. They'll be used to run around and collect all those fucking taxes on little things, little extra income you have. They're not going after the wealthy. They're not going after big business. They're going after workers. Somebody who has a side job someplace and does a little fucking work on the side, they're going after him. They're going to hit them. And hit them hard. Because they're going to cripple they're in the process of crippling the economy. So something's got to keep the government running, and it damn sure is not going to be the Inflation Reduction Act, supposedly putting $400 billion or some shit, reclaiming it from corporations who aren't paying their fair share. What this thing does, by the way, the reason that he handed Joe Manchin that fucking pen with that stupid look on his face is because Joe Manchin, corporate fucking Democrat, even righter than the right fucking Democrats and the centrist Democrats, he's the one who wrote this little thing they stuck in this fucking bill, setting the minimum corporate tax at 15%. Supposedly, they're going to get big business that hasn't been paying anything to jack up to 15%. But of course, there are goddamn loopholes. And it doesn't include the offshored tax rate for U.S. businesses, which I think dropped down to 10.5 from 11 or something to that effect. Which means it's still going to make it financially fucking profitable to move your business outside the United States, while putting the U.S. minimum corporate tax rate at 15%. What was it before that? 21%. Now that's if they held these corporations, the ones that you know and I know, get 0% fucking tax rate and get away with it. And they still will. They still will. Of course they will. They're not going to change that. You think all these IRS employees are going to go after those businesses? Fuck no. They're going to go after you and me. They're going to go after the working poor, the middle class, the small business owner, and of course, The really poor, like people like myself. Try to reclaim all the taxes they're going to lose here. That's why they were all happy and smiling and just full of joy as Joe Biden signed this piece of shit bill. Because all of their fucking buddies that they go hang out with after a day at work, the mahogany fucking walled, smoky fucking special bars where only fucking very wealthy people can hang out, drinking fucking 50-year-old scotch. They'll walk in and be, they'll be getting free drinks and slaps on the back from their corporate fucking buddies. Because that's going to save them a lot of money. They literally reduced the fucking tax rate from 21% to 15%. And they've got people acting as if that's going to help. No, it's not going to help. It's going to hurt. Why? Because as they reduce the amount of money that the government has, they're going to have to pay for it eventually. They're going to say, oh no, we fucked up. Now we got to pay for it. Well, what are they going to do to pay for it? Privatize. They'll privatize. Well, we got to get rid of fucking Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Then what happens? Once they got you're on insurance, the only way you can get in to see a fucking doctor is either have insurance or Medicare or Medicaid. That's it. End of fucking story. And once they got Medicare and Medicaid in their pockets, they got it all. Then what happens? Then you're talking about death panels. Tucker Carlson was talking to somebody the other day in Canada, I think it was Canada or one of these places, talking about they're going to open up and allow people to a more liberal use of euthanasia, the right to die. But as he pointed out, the right to die will become the obligation to die. Once your usefulness is done, once you become a drain on society for the greater good, you're better off just dying. Because big insurance don't want to have to pay for it, for your treatments. And of course, there won't be Medicare and Medicaid anymore. They'll be owned by big insurance. Why? For one reason is because they keep dropping the corporate minimum corporate fucking the minimum corporate tax rate from 21 down to 19 now, from 21 down to 15 now. Pretty soon there'll be nothing. They'll be paid at least, and they'll still be doing the same thing. The big ones, the ones who were really fucking ingrained in our government, they won't be paying anything. They won't be paying anything, weren't paying anything before. They won't be paying anything in the future. But you'll be paying more. A lot more. Prices are going to go through the fucking roof. For everything. Because they're going to make the economy scream. And they're going to do that because they want to make the biggest transition in the history of westernized world. They want to get away from democracy. They're going to say it failed. There's going to be a new fucking system put in place. Basically, the CEOs of major corporations are going to make decisions in boardrooms. And we'll have to live with it. That's a fact. Look up who's on the board of directors of fucking World Economic Forum. It's not the communists. It's not the socialists. Anyway. Yeah, so that's what we have to look forward to. They are doing to us what Kissinger, what Nixon did to what Milton Friedman did to the people of Chile in 1973, September 11th, 1973. By the way, they did all that so they could impose an experimental economic ideology called neoliberal economic ideology, free markets. Chicago boys and Milton Friedman ran down there and dropped the economic brick on those people. But in order to get there, They had to make the economy scream. Now, the only thing that I can say here is, in terms of hopefulness, is that maybe as people start to become aware and more aware of this being the fucking plan and why we are having to go through all this shit. It's not just governments doing this. You don't understand. Businesses are doing this. Business leaders are doing this. The head of the IMF, the head of the fucking World Bank, the head of the World Trade Organization, they're all on the board at World Economic Forum, along with CEOs of major institutions and 2,000 of the world's largest fucking corporations. The CEOs of them. They're the ones doing this to us. They're the ones waging this war on us to make changes. Changes that they want. Changes that they've written. Like, for instance, the minimum fucking tax rate in the United States dropping from 21 to 15%. And you making up the difference. Anyway, kind of a bummer of a Saturday video, but there you have it. Again, if you get a chance, please do. And you're interested in some of the vintage stuff that the FBI has been doing, head over to my American Everyman Substack. It's also going to be on my, all this stuff is already on my Blogspot website, so you can read it there just as easily. Anyway, I thank you guys for your time, and I hope you have a good Saturday, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.